Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Champ Show, episode number 37. My name is Zakary Cheatham. With me tonight I have...
EJ Flemming as always.
Yes. And guys, we have interesting episode today, or tonight anyways. We're not going to do any movie news stories. We're not going to do any movie trailer reviews because we're playing Catchup right now.
Yeah, this is our catch-up show.
We didn't have a show last week, some of you guys may know. So today we're going to be catching up on all the movies that we watched last week and all the movies that we watched this week. So, yeah. And then also you had a quick review you wanted to do for the Incredibles 2 movie.
Yes.
If you want to go ahead and give your quick review of that movie.
Yes, I do. When I was talking to you about it a couple of weeks ago, I said I really wanted to see this movie. And I never got a chance to see it right away, but then I went and saw it after we did the show, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was very well done. It was very mature for a movie for what it was, but that's Pixar par for the course. They're in a different different head area when it comes to when they make a movie.
Right.
They actually approached this subject with real maturity, even though it still had a lot of funny comic book kid movie moments too. Just the way Mr. Incredible dealt with the homework problem with Dash, I thought that was a very mature response.
Right.
He, instead of actually getting angry at the problem, he actually learned how to do it, and it actually made Dash a better student of it as well.
Yeah.
And it was actually very clever. It actually showed him that he's a flawed man, even though he's super.
Yes.
And the screenslaver, I read a lot of some things somewhere that said the screenslaver was a weak villain. How?
Right.
That monologue alone was like, it made you go, "You right about that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, it was very clever the way it was done. I just don't understand the whole. It was weak compared to Syndrome. They're different kind of villains.
Yeah, and I had mentioned in my review of it, if you guys haven't seen that, make sure you check it out. It's on the channel. I had mentioned that I thought the villain was great, but I thought the way that they used the Incredibles, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the way that the Incredibles were used at the end, I kind of had a problem with. But I mean, it made it more interesting as far as the story goes. But you really want to see the the Incredibles. You want to see them all assembled and doing everything together. But that's.
Well, we kind of got that in the first movie, so
yeah, we did. Yeah.
So it was like more of a new situation for them to work out, kind of thing, and that was very creative too.
And like I said, they pair together very well.
Yes, they do.
They follow perfectly.
Jack is my new favorite thing. I want to see what else Jack can do. I'm waiting for the Blu-ray release to come out because there's going to be a Jack short on there probably about where he goes when he goes to Dimension 4.
Yeah. I believe I said I gave this either a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. I can't remember what it was, but I believe it was like a 9 out of 10. What would you give this movie?
I'm going to give it about a 9.5 too.
9.5 too? Okay.
Yeah, because there are slight moments where it gets a little slow, but then that's just me being impatient.
Yeah, so the movie gets a solid A.
Because it's a very good movie. I would recommend go see it. Everybody played the role well. It was very well done. And the short that came on before it, Bow.
Oh my gosh,
I loved it. I love that too. If they make a Blu-ray release, that has to be on there as well.
Yes. All right, guys. So that was his quickie review. Like I said, you can check out my full review of this movie of The Incredibles 2, and also check out.
I didn't want to take a lot of time on it because we got so many to do tonight.
Yes. So, anyways, let's go ahead and start our first review for the night, and that is Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. 3 years after the destruction of the Jurassic World theme park, Owen Grady and Claire Deering returned to the island of Isla Nublar. Nublar to save the remaining dinosaurs from a volcano that's about to erupt. They soon encounter terrifying new breeds of gigantic dinosaurs, while uncovering a conspiracy that threatens the entire planet. All right, man. So you and I both saw this movie.
Yes.
Not together, but
no,
we both saw it. I saw it a few weeks ago, and you saw it today. So it's a little bit more fresh for you. So I'll go ahead and let you share your thoughts.
That's the first noise I made to anything that happened in this movie. Yeah. As I was sitting there watching this movie, I was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be one of these, isn't it? It's gonna be one of those dumb just because they could do it movies."
Yes.
I was watching this movie. I'm like, they just gonna just throw it on the wall, see what sticks, and nothing stuck. It was all stupid. I did not like this movie.
Yeah, I totally agree. Most of the movie looks great. It has great visuals. The directing wasn't bad. I think the directing was pretty great. It kept somewhat of a tone going through it, and then at the end, it feels like a horror movie at some point. I thought that those parts were great, like great tension and all that stuff when it needed to be. It was what was being written out in the screenplay. Everything else. There's bad decisions, bad writing decisions, bad character decisions,
and stupid moments.
Yes, lots and lots of stupid moments in this movie. I don't know.
The reason why we say stupid moments because there's a lot of things that defy science in this movie.
Yeah,
and that's really bad in a movie that expects us to buy the science that they're using to bring the dinosaurs back. Yeah, you can't have, oh, we did this and to block these chromosomes so all of the dinosaurs come out female and all this, all like that. But ignore how lava works. You just can't do that.
Yeah, or that Chris Pratt can keep pace with the dinosaurs.
He's pretty much Captain America.
Even in the first Jurassic Park movie, they were running with the dinosaurs, but the dinosaurs were definitely outrunning the humans. In this one, he was leading the pack.
Yeah, he was that
didn't make any sense.
He like looking back like, oh, everybody behind me. Okay, yeah, I must be zooming.
Yeah, so there's some bad green screen, or whatever you want to call that. If that was green screen or running, that was bad.
It was a dumb decision. He's keeping pace like he's running after Black Panther and Captain America in Infinity War.
Man, but because what do they call this? What's their ultimate goal with the dinosaurs? It's genetics.
The ultimate goal was to make the perfect Indoraptor.
Right, Indoraptor.
I would just like to point out that if you really wanted to shorthand that, he would be the iRaptor.
Huh. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, or he'd be like his brother, the I-Rex.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the Indominus Rex from the last one. Next, I imagine the next one's going to start with an I, too. So you're going to be like, we had the I-Rex, the iRaptor. Now we're going to have the iDactyl or some crap like that.
Yeah. So this was the worst use of Chris Pratt either in this one, too. Because he didn't get to go...
Still worse than movie 43?
No, actually, I thought he was pretty good in movie 43, actually. Thought he was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, all things considered, considering that was pretty funny.
Yeah. But yeah, this is probably the worst use of Chris Pratt I've seen. Well, besides Passengers, that was pretty bad too.
I actually kind of like Passengers.
I think I like the concept of Passengers. I think the execution was bad.
I think Passengers would have worked better had it been a slightly darker movie.
Yeah. But yeah, but as far as him in this movie, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of talk about their salaries and stuff before the movie, but neither one of them should have been paid for this movie, or should have been paid more. I guess maybe that's what I should say. They both deserved more for what the garbage that this movie was.
Yeah, this movie was garbage.
Yeah, I don't use garbage lightly whenever I review a movie, but this was pure garbage.
Yeah, I will give the movie credit for one thing, and you have to agree with me here though.
Mm-hmm.
Once the iRaptor showed up.
Yeah.
The tension was there.
Yeah.
You were like, this thing is out for blood.
Yeah.
How are they going to stop this thing? Because like you see one scene where like they get into like a freight elevator to escape it, and then he like immediately breaks the button so the doors have to pop back open. It's like, oh, he's too smart. He knows how elevators work.
Yeah. This Yeah, I think a lot of blame for this movie falls on Colin Trevorrow. I was willing to forgive him for Book of Henry. I didn't absolutely hate Book of Henry like a lot of people did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was tonally strange, all over the place. Yes, but for what it was, I thought it was an interesting film. Except for the ending didn't pay off at all. Mm-hmm. But either way, and then Jurassic World. I didn't hate Jurassic World. I thought Jurassic World was pretty
Jurassic
good.
World was pretty good. I actually enjoyed Jurassic World a lot. A lot. And
I definitely liked what was that? His first movie that I'm already blanking on. Something Safety Not Guaranteed. I love that movie.
Oh, that's the time travel in the classified ad movie.
Yes. So I mean, I like some of those things, and then I know that there was a lot of the stuff that went on for why he got fired for Star Wars. Episode 9?
It was 9, yeah.
Yeah, episode 9, he got fired.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But this was pretty bad.
Oh, was it 8? The one that just came out?
No, Rian Johnson was always attached, remember? Because they said there was no drama with Rian Johnson.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
Well, except for after the movie came out.
Oh, yeah, there was no drama during the production.
During the production.
After the movie came out, that's when the drama began.
Yeah. Yes. During the production.
It was like, can we get Josh Trank back, please? I'd think it.
Yeah. But either way, as far as what Hollywood would believe, this would be his third or fourth strike. This is his, technically, I guess, first strike for me, I guess.
Yeah, I did not. I was like for example, there's a scene in the. Did you want to just
spoil some stuff? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there's a scene where Chris Pratt gets shot in the chest by a tranquilizer dart. Few things I have to explain. The one thing I have to explain before I even say this, before I even start with just explaining what's going on, is this tranquilizer dart designed to stop a dinosaur's heart. Not stop his heart, but to put a dinosaur to sleep. And they just injected a human with this stuff.
Yeah.
Remember this. So now he's in the forest, should be dead, but no, he's just groggy like he had one too many at the bar. He can't move his muscles. A pterodactyl comes and like grossly licks his face and all this and all like that. So then he's like freaking out and all this and all like that. He's like, So, but he can't move, so you can see him like wiggling just fingers and crap. Then you see lava coming up. And if you ever seen any lava thing at all, you don't even have to touch it to be burned by it.
I was about to ask you that. I was like, I'm not sure how lava reacts, but how close can you get to lava? Because he was like really close to that lava.
Not close at all. Okay. You know, like there's pictures of people holding crap above lava and then catching fire. Yeah, so there's a lot of heat involved.
I was going to say, he should have had at least some second and third degree burns on
4th, 5th degree burns.
Everything burned, yeah.
Yeah, he should have. But the whole time he's like, the lava's like encroaching, so he like just in the nick of time moves his hand away, then he moves his leg, then he winds up throwing his whole body over a log and all this and all like that.
Yeah, this movie's got some cartoon moments in here.
Yeah, because especially considering they all should be dead.
Yes, and then it's got some like soap opera style twists in here.
You know, there's a scene where the main villain, as it were, and James Cromwell's character in a bedroom together because James Cromwell found out what he's doing.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh my God! Yes.
Why did he tell him to call the cops?
Yes. Tell him to call the cops on yourself.
Because it said because the story will sound better coming from you. And then the phone is completely placed on a pillow.
Yeah, that wasn't subtle. That should have. They could have. That would have been a more interesting scene had they not.
That
telegraphed what they're about to do.
That was whole. Yeah, they did telegraph it. It was like watching anyone out there who plays Detroit Become Human. It was like in that split moment, an O button and an X button came up. He could either call the cops or kill James Cromwell.
Exactly.
He chose to kill James Cromwell. Yeah. So then he said, and then he took the pillow, and then all of a sudden you see the amber cane get cracked open. Like, well, that's like their cue to let you know he died.
Because they already had the scene where the little girl finds out. Why couldn't that have been the scene?
Oh, and speaking of the what?
I hate that little girl.
I had no problem with the little girl. I had some problem with how dumb the villain was.
Yes.
He did not know how to lock a door until he had to lock her away. And by then it was already too late.
The biggest bad decision was why have all these dinosaurs in that building with them?
Yeah, you couldn't have them in a secure location off campus and then like video feed what they're doing in a cage.
And then Colin Trevorrow also said that he wasn't completely retconning the Lost World, but he wasn't going to write. He was writing around the Lost World, which is why there supposedly was another island in the Lost World, I believe, that they could have taken all those dinosaurs to.
Oh, if you write out the Lost World, that means you also wrote out JP3.
Oh, okay. So Jurassic Park 3. That was the other island in Jurassic Park 3 that they could have taken those dinosaurs to?
Yeah, because it was Isla Nublar as the main island that everything happened on.
Yeah.
And then there was the second island where they roamed free.
Yeah. So he said you borrowed some elements from Jurassic, or from what I just said, Lost World, and I guess Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
But didn't completely retcon it. So
Which
you would have had to have retconned it for this movie for them not to acknowledge the fact that there was another island that all these dinosaurs
or T-Rex ran through San Francisco.
Yeah.
Or San Diego, rather.
San Diego, yeah.
I always think that movie took place in San Francisco for some reason. The Lost World. But anyway.
I hate this movie.
It sucks when you're talking about, and I'm going to stir up a firestorm, better Jurassic Park movies than this one.
yeah, Lost World.
Lost World was okay, and I actually enjoyed Jurassic World.
Jurassic World 3 seems like it's its own movie.
Jurassic Park 3?
Jurassic Park, gosh.
Yeah, it seemed like it's its own thing, but it was still very clever and very brutal.
It was very brutal, yeah.
Like that one scene where the body dropped out of the, where homegirl's boyfriend's body, all mutilated, dropped out of the parachute in her face. I'm like, ooh, that's a
well, you know what? One thing that you can say, though, is that as good as the CGI has gotten for these dinosaurs in this movie, the practical dinosaurs seemed a lot scarier.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they can do a lot more with these CGI dinosaurs, but like I said, for the first 3 Jurassic Park movies, they were actually terrifying dinosaurs.
Yeah, like I was always like you say, like the dudes in the raptor suits in Jurassic Park in the kitchen. Yeah, I was terrified.
Yeah, so I don't get it. I don't know. There were some parts like you said with the Indoraptor that was really scary.
Yeah, like
but they just didn't use them right, I guess.
Yeah, like the whole scene where he pretended to be trained.
Yeah,
that was like when he distracted, did he use the tail as a distraction? I'm like, who taught you how to do that?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
that part was
and like
cool.
he homeboy got what he deserved too.
Yeah.
Because this 100 dude who, at like the moment you see him on the screen, he's like, oh, he's on the villain side.
Yeah,
they do a cut to him like when they're landing on the island and all this, and they focus on him a little too long. You like, you're gonna betray everybody, aren't you?
There was a part that I kept every time I saw the trailer for Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom, there was a part that was always out of context that I always thought sounded really strange from Bryce Dallas Howard, where she goes, "It was all a lie," like something like that. She says it, and they always play it like completely out of context in the trailer, even though it totally spoils the whole movie.
Yeah.
But it seemed just as strange in the movie. In the context of the movie,
it didn't feel like
she's like picking up saying, "It's all a lie." It's like, oh, it's weird.
Yeah, like this whole movie was just. It was just this like. Well, we got the building blocks in place for the third one. Well, what did you do? What did you do in this one?
Yeah.
We just did some things, and good luck, number 3.
Yeah.
Good luck making sense of this.
Yeah, and obviously the movie sets up a third movie. But the third movie could be a good movie if it's done right.
Yeah. I'm thinking what we watched was we watched a good first part. We watched the establishment part, which is always the shaky parts. And then we're going to get to the conclusion. Yeah. This was like...
all set up.
Yeah, it was like the first Matrix was great. This is like to compare Jurassic World to the Matrix in a way.
Right.
The first Matrix was Jurassic World.
Yeah, careful with that comparison. It's still just an okay movie.
I actually like all 3 Matrices in their own way.
Okay.
I will admit that there are problems with some of the things in Reloaded and Revolutions, but I still enjoy them, and I will watch all 3 back to back, no problem.
Okay.
So, back to my comparison.
Yes.
Jurassic World was the Matrix. We just watched Jurassic World Reloaded.
Yeah.
Now we're just waiting for Jurassic World Revolutions.
Yeah, it's one that we know is going to be crap, but we'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, on some level.
Yes, on some level we just
didn't enjoy Fallen
Yes. After seeing your second one, we're not so excited to see a third one, but it might actually be entertaining.
Yeah, or the car accident, or the car crash just might be so beautiful. We go, well, you did it.
Yeah, that's what problem with this one though. It's so bad. It's not an enjoyable kind of bad.
No, it's not.
It's got some stuff in it that's kind of cool, but yeah, it's still garbage.
Yeah, it's like I was like texting him the whole time I was in this movie. Like they did. I can't read some of the text on camera, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll go ahead and rate this thing because we talked about it enough. I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 10.
You're a half point better than me. 3.5.
Really? 3.5 out of 10. Okay.
Yes, that gives it what a smooth
3.75 out of 10.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right.
That's still an F.
Yeah, that F. F, you would rather get the did not complete.
did not complete.
You'd rather get the 0 at this point.
That's action point. Did not complete.
Yeah. That movie could come on Secret Stash 1 a.m. on Comedy Central, and I will purposely wake up and change the channel.
Oh man!
Knowing I have to be at my job at 8 a.m. That's how much I hate this movie. I better not see it in a store shelf. I might just take a copy and kick it across the floor and get thrown out.
All right, guys, that was our review for Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Better late than never, I guess. So what'd you guys think about it? If you've seen it, let us know your thoughts about it. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We want to know your opinion on your thoughts of this movie, I guess. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our next review. Sicario, The Day of Soldado. FBI agent Matt Graver calls on mysterious operative Alejandro Gillick when Mexican drug cartels start to smuggle terrorists across the U.S. border. The war escalates even further when Alejandro kidnaps a top kingpin's daughter to deliberately increase the tensions. When the young girl is seen as collateral damage, the two men will determine her fate as they question everything that they are fighting for. Okay, this one was the one I saw. You didn't see this one, right?
No.
Okay.
I never seen the first Sicario, and Sicario never did anything for me to make me want to sit down and watch it. So
yeah, so Sicario. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start this out. There's the first Sicario I watched in theaters. Okay, I watched in theaters. I fell asleep watching the first one in theaters, but I watched it again on home video when it came out. Loved it, but it was one of those things. I say this about all of his movies, and it was one of the things I was worried about when I watched
Blade Runner
2049. I said his movies are really good, but they are slow. The pacing is slow, and it's hard to get through, and slow burns. But Blade Runner 2049 was not a slow burn for me. It might be for some other people, but I really liked it.
I liked 2049 too, and it
Denis Villeneuve, that's his name. That's what
and it sucks that neither one of us owns it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I don't own it.
How do we own one of our favorite movies?
I know, that's crazy. I want to get on 4K, but either way.
Yeah, back to this one.
Soldado. This one was a different director. I don't remember the dude's name. If you want to pull it up,
I'll pull it up
on
over
IMDb.
here.
But it kind of suffers the same thing of it being a really slow burn, but it was fully worth it. I stayed awake for this one. This one had really great directing. The action scenes in this movie, there's a few of them. There's not a lot of them, but they're really great. The tension in this movie is insane. You are on the edge of your seat during some of these tense scenes.
The director's name is Stefano Sollima.
Stefano Sollima.
Oh,
Stefanos. Yeah, Stefano. Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, very good movie. Yeah, this is one of his first big movies, I'm pretty sure.
Well, looks like one of his first,
Yeah, one of his first big movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, very great job at Stefano Sollima. I thought this was a very good movie. Acting was great. Josh Brolin, always good. Benicio del Toro, very good. Still, he stole the first movie and he stole this one too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you consider it stealing whenever they write it around him, but still, he was very good in this movie. And the violence in this movie, like I said, there's a lot. Most of the action and the violence are pretty limited. But the times that they occur are brutal and awesome and tense, and I don't know. This movie was pretty great all around. Ultimately, though, it's forgettable. Unfortunately, it's not going to be impactful. It's not going to be something I'm probably going to want to. I'll probably watch the trilogy when all 3 movies are out eventually again, but not really something I plan to watch again. But either way, this is still a pretty great movie. It's a good sequel. It feels like a sequel a little bit, though. It doesn't feel like it stands completely on its own. But like I said, once the third one's out, ultimately I'll be able to judge the whole franchise. Mm-hmm. But still very good writing. Can you look up the name of that writer again? It's the guy that did like Hell or High Water and stuff like that. Wind River.
Taylor
Sheridan.
Yeah.
Taylor Sheridan. Great writing. Always a great writer. Oh man. But yeah. This movie, I will give it I'll give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Very, like I said, solid movie. Just a little bit forgettable and too slow, a little bit slow at times, but that's just kind of the deal with these kind of movies, I guess. But anyways, guys, if you have seen Soldado, Sicario 2, whatever you want to call this movie, let me know what your thoughts. If you haven't seen it, do you want to see it? What'd you think of this? Do you agree with my review? Either way. You have anything you want to add, even though you haven't seen the movie?
You were talking about how this potential sets up for the setup for the third one.
Right. It does set up pretty well for a third one. Yeah.
I actually read somewhere how this one ends, so I already know how what piece of a puzzle could play in the third one. So I might check them out just to see. I might have to sit through them and check them out.
No, and by the way, Isabella Moner, I believe she was in. Yeah, she was in Transformers the last night.
Yeah,
much better use of her in this movie than in Transformers. But my goodness, she is going to be in everything soon. That girl was very good in this movie. I believe she's going to be playing Dora the Explorer in the Michael Bay's Dora the Explorer.
How? Okay, Dora. Okay, Michael Bay, I have a challenge for you right now. Add an explosion to Dora the Explorer. I know you want to do it.
Yep, she's playing Dora the Explorer.
Find a way to blow something up in Dora the Explorer. And then have Dora go, "Did you see the explosion? I will love you forever."
But Catherine Keener. It's Kee. Keener. Mm-hmm. Very good in this movie too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, blow something up in the Dora movie though.
All right. Anyways, guys, what did I say? 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's at right now until you see it, and you can adjust the score if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we will move on to our next review, and that is
Uncle Drew.
Whew, a lot of words there.
Mm-hmm.
After draining his life savings to enter a team in the Rucker Classic Street Ball Tournament in Harlem, Dax, played by Little Rel Howery, is dealt a series of unfortunate setbacks, including losing his team to his longtime rival, played by Nick Kroll, desperate to win the tournament and the cash prize. Dax stumbles upon the man, the myth, the legend, Uncle Drew, played by NBA All-Star Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
And convinces him to return to the court one more time. The two men embark on a road trip to round up Drew's old basketball squad, played by Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Webber, Yes, Chris Webber, Reggie Miller, and Nate Robinson, and Lisa Leslie, and prove that a group of
septuagenarians,
that's a word, yeah, can still win the big one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we both saw this one, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay, we're not together, but
no.
Now this one, I was skeptical. I wasn't completely sold on.
Same here.
Yeah, on the trailer, I didn't really laugh during the trailer.
Oh, I laughed a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, I enjoyed the trailers a lot, but I didn't think
I
the
was
whole
intrigued
movie...
by the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it that. I was intrigued. I said, I wonder what this is, because I know this was based off of an old Pepsi commercial, right?
Yeah, Pepsi made this movie.
Yeah, that was something surprising. I saw Pepsi Productions. I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is just a big ad, isn't it?" But there was not a lot of product placement for Pepsi.
No,
not
surprisingly.
Like I was like,
there's not a scene where they're just standing there, they're just sitting around a park bench, all with like Pepsis and Gatorades in their hands, like.
Yeah, not a whole.
It's just that anywhere
placement.
you saw like realistic soda ads in the city, it would just be for Pepsi.
Yeah.
Or Gatorade or any of their brands, but it didn't feel like they was like hitting you in the head with the branding. Like, this is the street ball tournament. Of course it's going to be sponsored by somebody, so Pepsi would naturally be a sponsor to an event like that.
Now, I will start off by saying this movie is hilarious.
Yes, very much.
It's very, very funny.
Yes.
Story-wise, overall, which doesn't really matter, because the movie was funny, which is the ultimate goal of a comedy.
Yes.
It's to be funny, but the story is basic.
It's very
predictable, cliche.
It's very basically predictable and cliche, but they sell it very well.
Yes, they sell it very well.
Yeah, like
definitely they hired the funniest people. I mean, besides like the athletes that are obviously there for the athletic part, they are actually pretty funny in this movie too.
Yes, but, I thought it was once that like when he Uncle Drew and Little Rel's character go to the church. That whole scene was funny to me, especially when he was getting ready to
baptism scene.
We were getting ready to dunk him. He's like, whoa. and then he said, maybe we, and then like then they baptized him, and then every time he was like,
yeah. And so much of this movie is improvised that they showed you behind the scenes stuff at the end of the movie. You can see how much of this movie was improvised. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And they used all the best takes.
They used all the best takes. That movie was. I was like surprised how much I was laughing in that movie. Yeah. I was genuinely surprised. I thought there was one of the funniest scenes in the movie was another really funny scene to me is it was so many I can't remember them all because it was actually packed with a lot of funny stuff.
You said the name's Kyrie Irving?
Kyrie Irving. He currently plays for the Boston Celtics.
He sells it really well in this movie.
Oh,
Even though the makeup is really kind of okay.
On the lower end, but still fine.
But he acts just fine in this movie.
Yeah, he's actually like committed to the Uncle Drew character.
Yeah, it wasn't Michael Jordan in Space Jam mailing it in or not mailing it in. That was his best.
That was just what Michael Jordan can do.
He was not mailing it in if that's the best you can do.
He's a basketball player first for a reason.
Yes, but either Kyrie Irving, he sold the funniest bits very well. I mean, there's a reason why they made that an ad.
Yeah, it's because it's very clever. Because it's like, see this old dude, like, what can he do? And then he just schools you on the court. He's like, oh, that's what he can do.
Yeah.
And then the whole them and to talk about the boom room. Yeah. Like, I can wear my shoes anywhere here, but once I go here, I gotta take my shoes off.
That whole scene had me cracking up the entire time.
I was like, and the way the whole movie opens with the ESPN 30 for 30 thing, I thought that was clever.
That was good
because it actually made him feel real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things that's supposedly set in the reality of the real world, but it's just like a legend that's made up.
Yeah, it's like he's a legend that
a fictional legend.
He faded into obscurity after one fateful night, and no one knows where he is after being so good.
Yes, Shaquille O'Neal, he's always funny in the stuff that when he's used correctly.
Yeah, like even here, like he actually could act in this one. That was shocking.
Oh yeah,
like he when they were playing the game and he was like angry at Uncle Drew, and then they said, "You know what you did?" And he said, "Come on, man, you don't even remember her name." And he said,
that part actually gets you.
And then he said,
I
married her. And then Uncle Drew was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And like, do you actually felt that? Like, oh,
ooh,
snap.
Yeah.
You really did hurt this man.
The movie's got some heart in it.
Like, it was like
everything, it's got some heart in it.
Because there was there was one scene that showed me that it was like a hurt was a little deeper than that. And he goes to the court with everybody. Mm-hmm. And then he gives Lights glasses. He gives Rev a church or whatever. What was the Chris Webber's character's name?
Chris Webber, the one in the wheelchair?
No, the Reverend.
Was
like pastor or preacher or something like that?
Yeah, they call him Reverend or something like that.
It's something church related.
Yeah, something church related.
They gave him like a cross necklace. They gave Lights glasses. They gave Boots, the character who was like a mute in a wheelchair for most of the movie. Had like his Converse,
his old boots,
his old Converses. He called them his work boots.
Yeah, his work
boots. He said he did it because as he was on the court, he was doing work. So those were his work boots. And then he tried to apologize to Shaq by giving them the top of the trophy that he broke when they were younger.
Oof, yeah.
And then Shaq just crushed it and said, "That's not an apology."
Yeah.
It's like, what did you do?
Yeah.
I thought Nick Kroll's character was cool too.
Yeah, this is the good use of Nick Kroll. Usually when he's in the movies, he's really good. I don't like him all the time.
When they limit him.
Yeah, when they limit him, yeah.
When he can go.
This is still him going full Nick Kroll, not his dramatic stuff. His dramatic stuff's great, but the stuff that he's doing in this movie, he was going full Nick Kroll, but it was used properly.
It was like a proper, like it's just when he starts to get annoying, they cut him,
pull him out.
Yeah.
And Tiffany Haddish was pretty funny in this movie too. Yes. I wasn't completely because her jokes out of context on the commercial seemed kind of annoying, but used in this movie was really funny. It was hilarious, and how much she did the most. I feel like improvisation.
One of the funniest scenes happened earlier in the movie, and when she throws him out, and he has that suitcase.
Yes.
And she come out the window. Man, give me my suitcase back. That's not yours. So then he has to go back upstairs.
I'm hoping that part was improvised too.
And then he has to come back with just a trash bag with his stuff in it. I'm like, couldn't even let him keep the suitcase.
Yeah, the whole you'd think that the apartment's his and all that. But he owns nothing, not even the suitcase he tried to leave with.
Yeah. And then Lisa Leslie being Homeboy's
my gosh,
wife.
She was good too. Yeah,
chasing them around the country. That was funny.
Oh my goodness, yeah. This movie was great as far as for a comedy.
And all the basketball scenes were just cool.
Yeah, the basketball scenes were good.
Yeah, all the basketball scenes did for me though. It just made me want to just knock on EA's door. EA Sports door. And not another NBA Jam. Not an NBA Jam. No. Can I get another NBA Street?
Oh.
NBA Street was like NBA Jam perfected.
Right.
It was 3-on-3. It had the turbo mechanic like NBA Jam, but it actually had a little more to it. Like goaltending was par for the course. Like if you could get up and get the block at any point, go for it.
Yeah.
It also had like trick dribbles and all this and all like that. And a lot of that stuff you were seeing them do in the movies is like a core mechanic of the gameplay in NBA Street.
And I like the little, I don't want to spoil the joke, but the subtle mention of something that a movie that one of the main characters was in, the Lil Ray or Rel. What's his name?
Oh yeah. They do a callback to his one of his other movies, which he doesn't have many of. But it was very funny when he did it.
Yeah, I was cracking up. My girlfriend didn't know what the reference was, but I just started cracking up.
Yes.
It was mentioned. I was like, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed Uncle Drew a lot. And like I said, it was predictable. Like when you saw when you get to a certain point in the movie, you know what's going to happen.
Right.
So it's just a matter of, are you on board at this point, or are you ready to jump off? Yeah. That's the movie makes get you to a point where that's where you go. You're either in or you're out. Luckily for this movie, I was in.
Okay, so now we got to rate this thing, which is hard sometimes, depending on how I feel, how I'm going to rate one of these types of movies.
Yes.
Because, like I said, the comedy is very effective in a comedy movie.
Yes.
So, how would I want to score this? Because as an overall thing, that's the problem. That's when you start running into problems if you try to score this thing overall. So for this, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, you're gonna give it a 8.5. I'll just give it a straight 8.
8? Okay.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed it. There were I thought the beginning was kind of slow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because it was
kind of slow.
Kind of slow, and the jokes weren't hitting as hard as they were later in the movie. Like that one, like even naming the team, that was kind of funny.
I did kind of start, I guess, becoming disengaged a little bit towards the end of the movie. I was like it said, it took me a minute to get into the movie, and then once I was in it, I was good, and then once it got to the end, that's when I kind of became disengaged.
Mm-hmm. And before we go on to something else, I just wanted to read this comment that Girl Zero left. It said, "An explosion indoor explorer would be so funny." That would be funny.
An explosion where? What was that a reference to?
Well, remember I was talking about how you said that the girl in Sicario was going to be Dora the
Explorer? Oh, yes.
And I made the comment challenging Michael Bay to put an explosion in Dora the Explorer.
Okay.
Like that'll be the ultimate swiper, no swiping.
Right.
Just blow them up.
All right, so yeah, what's that? You said 8. I gave it an 8.5, so that's 8.25.
Yeah, I actually.
So that's a B minus.
And I was originally going to give it a 7.5, but the pleasant surprise factor made me push it up to that 8.
Okay.
Because I was just thinking it was just going to be like, oh, this is another one of these movies where the jokes is going to be about.
Well, like the cinematography, it wasn't bad cinematography. It was just nothing special about it. So, but you don't really rate comedies on their cinematography.
No, you really don't.
You rate it on how funny it was and how if you liked the characters. I liked the characters. I liked the jokes, and I liked the comedy. So 8.5 seems fair.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to complain about the acting because everyone was used within their acting abilities. So that was fine. Yeah. So 8.5 out of and 8.25 total. So guys, have you seen Uncle Drew? Do you agree with our review of this movie? Let us know in the comments. So let's go ahead and move on to our next review. First Purge. I wanted to say the last Purge. I wanted to. All right, we'll go ahead and... All right, the First Purge.
We're getting a peek inside.
To push the crime rate below 1% for the rest of the year, the new founding fathers of America test a sociological theory that vents aggression for one night in one isolated community. But when the violence of oppressors meets the rage of the others, the contagion will explode from the Trial City borders and spread across the nation. Wow, they use very vague terms to describe their movie.
Oh yeah.
Because what are these movies based in? It's Staten Island. Yeah, so this movie's based all of those writers' movies have been in Staten Island, and even the guy that wrote these movies, all of his stuff is based in Staten Island for some reason. I guess that's where he's from.
Yeah, if Stephen King can make everything about Maine, why can't someone else make it about their city?
Very true. But anyways, I will say I loved the First Purge. I thought the First Purge was great. Well acted.
Wait.
What's up? Okay, the original Purge.
There you go.
Yes. I'm already off to a bad start.
Yeah, when you say you love the First Purge, you got to be careful because that's this movie now.
Way to trick everybody.
Yes.
This is I think because this is the first one that the writer James Monaco he wrote this one, but this is the first one he didn't direct because he directed the 2013 Purge movie and everything up to election year. Yeah. So this is the first one he didn't direct, and it's kind of noticeable because I liked a little bit of the like they were getting worse as they kept going on, but this one is really bad. Like I didn't think the election year was totally bad. I thought it had some really great, like the death sequences and stuff were really well executed.
Yes.
In this one, it's sad how bad it is.
Well, did you know that this may have been like a backdoor pilot?
Well, it definitely is a backdoor pilot. That's because actually, none of these actors are going to be in this one. They have totally different people and actors and characters that are going to be in the TV show. But for what this was it looked like a very bad pilot. It looked like something that was probably made for TV that they probably cut from without the foul language, this could have passed as a PG-13 movie because of how tame everything was in this, as far as the violence goes. It was all any parts with blood in this movie was done with CGI or After Effects. Like I've seen my friend when he was 12 years old was making gun videos and stuff using After Effects to make blood spurts and stuff. That's what it looked like.
Wow,
it looked like that. So no, like even whenever it would show the blood and then it would flash back to the dead body or something, the blood would be gone. So that's
what
how
are we playing? A light gun game now?
Right, exactly. So that's how fake the blood looked in this movie. And like there was no creativity in the death sequences or anything like that.
Yeah, even like you said, in election year that one, it was either election year or Anarchy, where you had the people who were like the foreigners, but they were just like Uncle Sam and whatnot,
right? And
they were chasing them through the city, and then they all got gunned down. That was kind of a cool scene.
Yeah, they didn't do anything like that in this movie. There was no like. There came close to a mass death, but that was nothing. That was most of the weapons in this movie are knives. Till the end, they start using guns and stuff. But either way, those are still not clever or creative ways or anything. So when you're watching these movies, you aren't kind of looking for something. I don't know. This movie tries to have a message in it. And you kind of want to agree with the message, but at the same time, it's so heavy-handed and all in your face. And then there's some parts where they try to make political jabs at people that takes you completely out of the scene because it's like, okay, I know what you're referencing there. It was just
pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious.
It wasn't clever, so it kind of like you just did that just because you could do it.
Yeah, why would you why? How did this get past anybody? But
if you look at it like this. With this being like the experimental one, it has not crossed the country yet. It's not like in later movies we've seen people prepare for these things.
Right.
With this one being the first of its kind, it is without the availability of the things that come in later purges. Can you understand the scaled backness of it now?
I can understand some. Well, I don't want to completely spoil anything, but it's not completely scaled back. It probably should have been worse than most of the other purges, the way that they executed this.
Okay, what you're saying is because for the first time,
because of what the founding fathers do in this movie,
because the way everything is set up in later purges, with this being the first, the founding fathers should have the upper hand.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly the point. Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
They want the purge to be widespread. So
you would think that by them being as armed and everything as they are, you would see a greater result on their side more so than just the random chaos that we see in the other movies.
Exactly. And then, but even their political message of this movie gets really muddled because of what the writer of this movie feels about like organizations like the NRA or something. If in this movie, if the government is the one that wants the citizens to go out and kill each other, then why wouldn't the citizens feel like they should be armed themselves? I was like, what is your message that you're trying to? If you don't like the NRA, do you like the NRA? Do you not like the NRA? What's your message here?
Yeah, like purge all you want, just don't use a gun.
Yeah, see, boy, but
we keep this civil. We use swords, knives, and daggers. Purge like it's 1800.
Well, what I will give this movie some credit for is the acting. There's the characters are stupid, but the acting, like from this character Dimitri by the actor's name is Elon Noel, very good. I think I can see him doing a lot of other things, hopefully outside of this Purge franchise after this, though. He was probably the best actor in this whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like he's acting what's not alongside, because they actually never shared a scene, but Marissa Tomei is also in this movie. Very underutilized, very bad in this movie. And then there's another part. I guess I can. No, I don't want to spoil it. But there's one of the actors in this movie. I don't know if they just like ran out of money and couldn't pay them to work another day, but they killed them. But it's like on security camera, and you never see their face. Like, and it's very all out of nowhere. You're just watching security cam footage and like, oh wow, they just killed that person, but we watched it on a security video and you never actually see their face. That's why I'm thinking like, oh, they must have ran out of. Either they cut their scenes and that was how they ended it, or they ran out of money and couldn't afford to bring them back for another day or something.
Yeah, so like we need a reshoot, but we can't afford to bring her back.
Yeah,
like, him or her back.
Yeah, him or her back.
Security cam footage
of them dying
off camera, off. No, don't see the
fact
face.
That it wouldn't have been a big problem if it wasn't such a big character for this movie. But yeah, it's kind of that kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's just such bad directing, and then even some of but it just seems like the movie, as they were moving further along, seemed like it was just a haunted house attraction, which is exactly what this felt like. There's so many, it relies so heavily on jump scares to scare you. It's kind of ridiculous because everything, like, oh my gosh, like you're just having a normal scene where two people are talking and then out of nowhere somebody just pops up like, gosh, why'd that have to be a jump scare too?
Hello, everybody. Yes. No.
Like, come on. I was like, oh, because that was like one of the first scenes in the movie. It's like, oh, this is how it's going to go. Okay.
We're in one of these. We're in House of the Dead. Got it.
But the fact that this is a prequel movie and we still don't see the birth of how the Purge started, it's still like just the day, hours before this first Purge happens. That's where the movie starts. You don't see like them just considering why they might need a Purge or anything like that, or just, weighing their options. This is just how it starts.
That's what the TV show's for.
Maybe that's what it's for. Hopefully,
they explained that we've seen the first trial Purge.
Right.
Now the TV show explains how this trial goes nationwide.
That's what I'm wondering, because how do you do 10 episodes of a show that's supposed to take place in one day? I mean, it's not. It probably wouldn't be the first time this has happened.
Yeah, 24 does. And 24 used to do that all the time.
No, like every episode is 24 hours though. But this is
no. And on the show 24, every episode was just an hour.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it was called 24. Because if you was to add up all the episodes of the show together, it was a timeline of one day.
Really? That's
yeah.
I've never watched 24.
Yeah, that's why it was called 24. By the time the season was done, you would get about 20 some odd episodes. But it ran from 6 in the morning to 6 in the morning.
Wow.
So that's why it was called 24. Not each episode was its own day. That whole season was just a day.
Whoa. Okay, that makes it totally different from.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why it could. If you do it that way, it might work. Like each episode building up. Like say, these like each episode is like the first.
I was imagining that it would be from perspectives. That's what I thought about it. I was like, if this is supposed to be one night, then is this from different perspectives, or how do you?
Or you could have it set up where you can see like each hour in the build up to the first 8 episodes, it's like the build up to the Purge, and then like the final 2 episodes, and then the 10th episode, like a 2-hour season finale, is like a Purge movie where you just see the full Purge, and it's just what it is, but on TV now.
All right. Well, anyways,
it can be done.
Yeah. So either way, though, like I said, this is the worst shot, worst directed, worst edited Purge out of any of them, and it's probably one of the worst movies I've seen all year. And I already have given that credit to, I believe, Truth or Dare.
Yeah,
I think that's the one I have right now as the lowest rated one.
Blumhouse, man.
Yeah, Blumhouse, two strikes, buddies.
Yeah, two strikes, but hey.
But guess who else is produces this movie? Michael Bay. This is a Platinum Dunes movie.
Yeah, because Michael Bay has always produced. He's always produced the. Yeah,
he did do the first one. So yeah.
He's been involved.
So this has always been part of a joint Platinum Dunes.
Yeah,
Platinum Dunes. Either way, though, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think that's lower than I gave Truth or Dare.
Might be. We'll have to look back and see.
Yeah, which is weird because I have seen positive reviews for this movie, but I've also seen but it's usually one negative review out of 2 or 3 positive reviews, which is weird. So I think it's complete dog trash. But like I said, there's some good acting. The only positive thing I have to say was this dude, Elin Noel. I think he's a very good actor.
I think the reason why the Purge movies work so well is a different take on the zombie scenario.
Yeah.
Like, you can sit down and watch a Purge movie and go, what? And then after y'all are all done, you can all sit in the room and go, what's your Purge plan?
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes you think in a way of like, what would you do if this was real?
Yeah. But as far as this being an origin story, I guess you wouldn't call it an origin story or just a prequel to The Purge, it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like a prequel. It just feels like another Purge with just a really crappy side story that we go to every once in a while. Because literally, I think if you put all of this stuff outside of what's happening during The Purge, all of those scenes together, you might get probably 8 minutes of footage of the side story that's supposed to be the birth of this Purge or whatever, the first day of the Purge.
Interesting.
You just flash to it every once in a while, but other than that, it's a normal Purge movie, except for poorly executed as far as that part goes. But yeah, it's a pretty big pile of crap for me.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. Have you guys seen the first Purge? Let me know if you liked it or not. Okay, so let's move to our last movie review for the night. And that is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I almost forgot the P. Okay, Scott Lang is grappling with the consequences of his choices as both a superhero and a father. Approached by Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym, Lang must once again don the Ant-Man suit and fight alongside the Wasp. The urgent mission soon leads to secret revelations from the past as the dynamic duo finds itself in an epic battle against a powerful new enemy. All right, so I'll let you start this one off.
Okay. Funny story about this before I go. Funny story. The day I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, that was the day I was trying to see Jurassic World. But the showing was sold out, and I saw that it was this showing for this so close to my Jurassic World time I wanted to go. So I picked this instead. And what a choice. Yes. This movie was awesome.
Yeah, I liked it. No. I really did like this movie.
I liked it.
I
was about to leap on you.
It's I don't know. It's not my favorite Marvel movie of the year. Definitely, that still goes to Infinity War, but that's gonna go for a while.
Infinity War and Black Panther are like top two for me.
Yeah, so for how high I felt as far as the Infinity War, this one was it's just so different tonally than
but that was to be expected.
Yeah, that's something that you expect.
They told you from the beginning that this was going to be a more lighter-hearted movie than the Infinity War was, and they weren't lying.
Yeah,
this movie was funny, and I loved every joke they told. There really was no clinker in this movie.
Right. It's not a huge movie. It still is very much just within.
It's still universe. Self-contained. It's like Ant-Man is a part of the MCU, but he's still a fringe of the MCU, but not like in a way where it feels like he's isolated.
Right.
Like he like what happens to him what happens in his movies has an effect on the overarching MCU, but not in a way as this happens to someone like Iron Man.
Right.
Like something happens to Iron Man that directly affects the Avengers as a whole. Where if something happens to Ant-Man, it happens to the MCU in the world itself.
Yeah. This was. It seemed a lot more about to be the Wasp's movie in this. For this, I think Evangeline Lilly was excellent again in this movie. Or she was great in the first one, but she was really, really good in this one. But I thought, what's his name's Hank or no Scott Lang. He felt a little bit different of a character in this one than he did in the first one. Maybe it was just because of his whole house arrest thing. But
that was the whole thing. He felt he couldn't go too deep into it,
right?
Because at any moment he had to rush back home,
right? Because like in the first one, he had really good control over the situations that he was in, like how quickly he trained and all that stuff like that. How quickly he got accustomed to the suit and all of that. This one. I don't know. He was a little bit sloppy, but like I said, it's a lot has to do with.
You got to remember, he told them that his suit was destroyed.
Right.
So they gave him a work in progress suit.
That's true. Yeah.
So the suit he had wasn't quite his suit.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't working like it was supposed to. Like he would try to grow and shrink, but then he would get stuck at certain sizes and would be like blow up unnecessarily because the suit was like not his working suit.
Right. But this one doesn't go full Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where they rely too much on the jokes. There actually is a story in this one, and it's actually pretty good as far as the ghost character. Did they ever have a real name for her? Yeah, so they did have a real name for her.
Yeah, they did have like Anna or Ava or something like that.
Ava, yes. Yeah. She was really good. That was Hannah John Kamen. Very good.
Yeah, she was very good.
I don't know if I've seen her in anything before.
Yeah, she was actually very believable. I actually felt for her. She actually was a very, again, phase 3, home of the unique villain.
Yes.
It is like villains that you go, in her situation, I could see why she's doing what she's doing, because that would suck to be, like she said, torn apart and stitched together molecule by molecule for existence.
But then there's Michael Douglas. I like Hank Pym a lot, but in this movie I kept feeling conflicted about whether or not I should like him because of all the enemies he has.
You know what? to be fair, that is something that they've carried over well from the books.
Really?
There is an instance where some people like Hank Pym and some people hate him because of the kind of person he is. So that's normal for Hank Pym. If you feel that way, that's just normal.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah, because we watched Cinema Wins on Ant-Man just a few minutes ago. He actually was an abusive husband at one point in this run as Ant-Man. So it's not he's not exactly a good person, but he is human.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, you got a lot of enemies.
Yeah, so that's just
people that are seemingly good people.
Yeah, that's one. So that's just that. From what I've gathered about Hank Pym, that's just the way he is as a personality type.
Okay,
so he's kind of abrasive that way.
And Lawrence Fishburne, very good in this movie. We can't talk about too much about what Lawrence Fishburne's role is in this movie.
No, he just plays an associate of a former associate of Hank Pym, who is responsible in a way who feels responsible for Ava's character in a way, and we don't reveal how.
Right.
We won't reveal how, but it's very important that they show you that he feels like, and it is a very important moment to know that he cares for Ava.
But yes,
more so than just
he's the one that creates the conflict with how you should feel about Ava.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Yeah, they don't let Ava just be a just out and out villain.
Yeah,
she's an antagonist, but not a villain.
That added a really good level of complexity to the storyline. I was like, because you have to get over.
Pretty much, Ava wasn't Walton Goggins.
Yes, Walton Goggins is pretty crap. Hey, he was pretty. I don't know. I love Walton Goggins, but they keep trying to make him a villain in these movies. It's kind of hard. He's too comical, I think.
No, it's not the fact that he was not comical. It was just the fact that he was too stereotypical.
Yeah,
like the first time you meet him, how is he going to, like, the first time you meet him at the restaurant? So, how is he going to strong arm the situation?
Right.
And guess what? He tried to strong arm the situation.
Yeah. So
it's like, I called you. As soon as you started speaking with that southern accent, I'm like, I can't trust you.
Yes, exactly. I think what is Walton Goggins is a Western actor that they just throw in. These normal
he's still acting like
modern movies.
He's like every movie and he thinks he's a cowboy, but you're in a 3-piece suit in New York and in San Francisco. What up, bro?
Yeah. He just feels out of place sometimes. Even
take the weed out your teeth and act.
Yes. So that's my only problem. Is he just feels out of place sometimes in the movies. That's why it's the fact that they want to put him in these movies because he's so well known.
Yeah.
And likable, but it's just not always the role he needs to be taking.
Yeah, because he
needs to take a different approach to it.
Because he was a very stereotypical villain. He just happened to have a man on the inside where he can manipulate the situation if he needed to. And it was just very much. He was a very phase 1 MCU villain.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he was like the secondary villain, but not.
Yes, exactly.
He wasn't the main villain, so thank goodness for that. He was just the roadblock that they had. He just every so often he would just pop back up and like, I gotta deal with him now, and while I'm still dealing with all this.
No, that would be a kind of a spoiler. I'm trying to figure out if what his ultimate mission was might get called back in another movie, because he never fully went into what he was trying to do, right? He was just trying to
get his hands on it for someone.
But who he's working for, is that somebody that might
we might get a call back to that either in another Ant-Man movie or something else.
Okay. But either way, Randall Park in this movie, he was very funny.
Oh yeah.
He's only in this movie for comedic purposes. But I loved every scene he was in.
Yeah, he was very he could have easily have played a straight man.
Yeah.
But the fact that he didn't, but it was still like he didn't play a straight man, but he didn't exactly fall in line for Scott Lang too.
Right.
That was very clever.
Yeah.
Because like you could see that like he's not doing what he's doing because he's being a douche about it.
Yeah.
He's doing his job.
He's doing his job.
He's just doing his job, and it just so happens that his job means arresting people like Scott Lang.
Yes.
And it was very funny when he did like the up close magic, and he's like, "Yo, how did you do that?"
Yeah.
And like he said, when we said, "How did you do that?" Then later on, you cut to him. He's in the office trying to do it.
Oh, it makes me want to see a movie with him and what's his name? Paul Rudd together. I want to see them do another movie together. Oh man.
You could just bring back the Marvel one shots and just have him teach him how to do that.
Yes. Oh man. But yeah, the movie Michael Pena once again was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
I think Randall Park still stole the comedic thunder from him in this movie, except for they did call back to an old joke that they did in the first one.
The story time. Yeah, but they did it very cleverly this time, where it was like a recap of Iron Man 1.
Yes.
And it was very clever to see them like set the scene the same way.
Ant-Man 1 and Civil War, they kind of give you the timeline of what happens.
Yeah, between those two movies, yeah. And it was very funny to pay off to that scene later in the movie.
Yes.
I enjoyed this movie a lot. I can't think of much to talk about in negatives.
And once again, the cinematography was pretty good, or really good. I mean, they used the macro lens and stuff like they did in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think for me, the comedy hit perfectly well. The dramatic points hit perfectly well. Michelle Pfeiffer was really good in this movie. Also the de-aging technology in this one.
Yeah, like when they showed,
always improving. Every single movie I see, Marvel seems to be using it the most right now.
Yeah,
every single movie, it just keeps.
They were getting
better.
it right. What they were doing, they were like, since they knew they was probably going to use it for Captain Marvel later on.
Yes,
like they just announced today that they were like, well, if we're going to use this for as long as we are for Captain Marvel, we got to get it right.
Right. So what makes me curious about, Scorsese's using it in The Irishman, I think is what it's called, The Irishman with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and all them, makes me wonder what level the de-aging he's using for that movie, which stage of the Marvel movies he's at right now with that.
Yeah. Is he able to get his hands on the same level of tech?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious.
I believe he is, because he's
been working on it for a while, so I'm curious about what level he might be at with his.
Yeah.
If he can just get it to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
But if he can get it to where they are right now with Ant-Man, that'd be really good.
Just don't try and legacy yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
I used to defend the CGI of that movie about Clue and all, because every time they talked about young Jeff Bridges, I'm like, what are you talking about? Clue's a computer program. He's supposed to look kind of off.
Nope.
But then I looked at Tron Legacy again, and I saw young Jeff Bridges telling his son the story about basically telling them events of the first Tron movie. Right. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what you're talking about. But,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Anyways, so like I said, the acting is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy's good. Cinematography's good. Music's great. So, what am I going to rate this thing? I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. I still felt like I wanted something more out of it, but what I got was still extremely great.
I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10. Okay.
Because the reason being, not the post credit.
Oh,
you see the post credit in the commercial.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put that out there now. The post credits in the commercial. It's still a very funny visual.
Yeah.
And there's a little clue to what's going on with that visual in the right before you see the post credit scene. There's like something going on in the corner that's just like not like nothing like you can see the events of Infinity War or nothing like that, but it's just the fact that on the TV in the corner they got like the emergency alert system up.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
So it's like, oh, so this is actually happening congruent with that movie too.
Yes.
So it's like, so even though this is still like the haha I'm funny, go home happy moment, it's still happening post.
Mm-hmm. All you need to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's an A. I mean, I guess it's an A minus, but still, yeah, pretty good. I think no, that's an A. Either way.
Either way, they'd be happy with the report card.
Yep. So, guys, have you seen Ant-Man and the Wasp? If you have, let us know what you thought about it.
Technically, Marvel's 20 for 20.
20 for 20.
They haven't really made a bad movie. They've made lesser movies.
Yeah. But
it hasn't been one that has been said, this is just outright bad.
We're not 20 movies away from the Thor, the Last, whatever the crap it's called. Lost.
No, I'm talking about from Iron Man on.
Oh.
Ant-Man is the 20th one.
Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is the
so
20.
20, or just 20 for 20.
Yeah, that's 20. Every movie they've made has been a hit. And
I beg to differ.
Didn't I just say there's been some lesser ones?
No, that's a bad movie.
Okay, is it? Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What movie was worse? Thor: The Dark World or Justice League?
Oh, definitely Justice League. Yeah.
Okay, then I rest my case. would you rather watch Thor: The Dark World again or Justice League?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah. That's an example of a bad movie. Yeah. Where Thor: The Dark World is like it's bad compared to everything else.
Yeah.
But it's still better than a lot of other stuff.
That's true. That's fair. You put it that way. It makes it better.
Yeah. I would rather sit through. I'd rather. It's just a slope. It's like
sit through the worst of Marvel than the worst of DC.
Yeah, exactly. The worst of Marvel is still pretty good. Like Iron Man 3. Like people say Iron Man 3 was bad. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Or even the worst of Marvel, best of DC.
Yeah, allegedly the best of DC was Justice League.
All right. Well, anyways, that's been our Movie Champs episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll throw up a graphic here.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to do the BOPs before we end this episode, or did you want to not do that?
I don't even know what box office is right now.
Well, we just talked about Ant-Man and the First Purge.
Okay.
Those would be the movies we would do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to. I don't know. I can't do that. It's cheating. Okay, so let's see. I feel bad because I don't even know what the top 5 is right now.
Yeah, that's okay. Everyone
should have been better prepared.
We said in our last episode we were bringing this back, and boy, it's been hard to get back here to do this show. It's pulling back the curtain, paying no attention to the man by the machine. Real life gets in the way a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that
we're all starting new jobs. You've started a new job. I'm starting a new job next week. Got a girlfriend, all that stuff now.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to.
Then you got one more than me with that. I'm just starting a new job.
Yeah. So yeah, it's life is fun, and it's hard to get back into this again.
Yeah.
Once you get through life changes, but we're definitely still trying to keep this thing a weekly thing.
We're still trying to keep it weekly. We're still trying to do the things we want to do with it. It's hard.
Yeah.
So bear with us.
Yep.
We're only humans in a we're only 2 humans in a camera.
Yep.
And some lights. So
but anyways, like I said, let me pull this up here. My name's Walker Cheatham. You can find me at Walker Cheatham on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
You can find me, EJ Flemming, at Geek Champs EJ, all the social medias he just rattled off.
Yep, and we're going to do this real quick, too. So make sure you check out our most recent Movie Champs episode. Check out our movie reviews. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And guys, we will see you. Don't